Now this is my Mercedes 190e, which I've had for over 2 years now. Yes, over 2 years. Now I've always loved these 190s and I managed to pick this one up cheap because it had a timing chain issue. Little did I know then, you can't change the timing chains on these engines without thousands of pounds worth of Mercedes specialist tools. So long story short, we ended up doing an engine swap. This was my first ever engine swap in a car, and this is why it's took so long, because I've learned so many ways on not to do an engine swap. Now this is why this project has been taking so long, and I can only apologise for how long it's actually taken. But without two key people, I actually don't think this would have ever been running, so thank you to Rusty Autos and William Pittner. Now I vowed to myself that I would finish this car, so let's get it out the unit and let's finish this car. Now in the last episode you actually would have seen that we actually got this car running. William came over all the way from Croatia to get this wiring sorted. So all we've got to do is some final jobs and we can finally take this car on a proper drive, and one of those final jobs is it needs an intercooler. Well, first of all we need to get it out of the unit and see if it even starts, because it's been over at least 6 months before I've even turned the key. So one of the jobs we've still yet to do is wiring. Well, this is the pedal. This is the cable going through to the foot pedal, and it's broke. So right now this has actually a fly-by wire. So how I can actually drive the car with throttle is I'm gonna have to hold this here and do that, because we've still not found the right cable to do the fly-by wire. So we're gonna have to I'm gonna have to sit in the car, and hopefully this will reach so I can give it some throttle. I can get out just using the clutch, but I'm probably gonna have to do some throttle to get on the trailer. So that's where we're going to use that. Or we'll get Charlie to stand in the engine bay and give it some throttle. So to start it, this is the 190 key. We've got the SLK immobilizer in here, so you have to put the keys together. I'm going to have to find a way. We're probably going to have to do, well, we'll just put this blade on here if we can find a way. Them together, so the ring recognises the key, and then we turn the key and we have to hold them together, and then it should fire. If it doesn't, that means it's not recognised it properly, so we've got to take it out and just put it closer together like this. Oh, actually that's the better way, right? And then hopefully try not to turn them away, and then it should start. So this is our throttle, so we're just going to use clutch to get out for the minute. But we've got a throttle here, so I'm going to send it, alright? You ready? Throttle cable! We're driving, boys! Oh shit, the exhaust is rubbing, I forgot about that. Yeah, am I good? I've got the throttle if I need it. Is it going to hit? The exhaust is dangling. Whoa, whoa. That was professional, if I must say. Thanks guys, well done. So down here at Airtec with the 190, obviously everybody's heard of Airtec. Airtec originally came on the scene by making intercoolers, mainly stuff like focuses and Mark II focuses and radiators and things like that. Basically any kind of cooling modification. The past 2 years they've massively opened up their market to not only just, the focuses, but everything. So you'll see Airtec products on absolutely everything now. Recently been doing some work with Airtec, actually doing some helping film their development processes on the E92 M3. We've got a load of new stuff for that. And also the M2 as well, the new M2. And I asked them, I said, look guys, I'm really struggling to find an intercooler for this that will fit, and I don't want to just buy a load of the universal ones, then waste whatever. And they said, bring it down and we'll make one custom for where you want it, because I don't want to chop up this car. I want this car to stay looking stock. So I didn't want to just put like a big intercooler in the front grille or anything like that. I want it to look stock. So Airtec graciously said, come down and we'll make you one up, which sticks to that stock vibe. So we're here on the trailer, we're going to get it off, and we're going to go and speak to one of their fab guys, and we're going to get some cool kind of like welding videos and stuff, which is awesome. I love stuff like this. So looking off the trailer, and well, let's get one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to brake. Oh, one step closer to not the edge, and let's drive this 190 for the first time ever. So the plan is, we have this space here to use. I don't want to come in front of this because you've got the grille from the bonnet, and I don't want to go behind that, so I don't want to move the radiator around. The biggest issue with this is that this is the outlet from the supercharger here, and it's really low down. So the plan is, first of all, I need to take all the plastics off. So this doesn't need to be here anymore because this is a standard air feed for the standard intake. So we can get rid of this, and that gives us a lot more space to get up to our throttle body over here. I need to get rid of this plastic down here. So what they're going to do is, so they're going to get some different size cores. They're going to bring some different size core intercoolers out, see which one fits in there the best. And then it's a case of making up the end plates and making up the couplers and stuff at the end to actually fit to make one solid unit. So I'm really excited for this because this was the biggest thing that's been putting me off doing it, because the rest are just little jobs that we should be able to figure out pretty quickly. I've just drinked it, but let's try.
So my first job is to remove all the plastics and get everything out of the way. So to remove the bottom plastics from the bottom of the radiator, I need to drill out these 4 rivets. So there's a bar here in front of the radiator, and this is literally to provide some extra support for the crash bar, so that when you slam the bonnet down, it actually latches and the whole thing just doesn't bend. Now we need to remove this for now because this is exactly where our intercooler is going to sit. So the first thing that they do is just bring out some intercoolers that they had lying around, just to see what kind of shape and what core size would fit in where we want it.
So what is the biggest problem at the minute? Is it that coolant hose?
It could be.
It doesn't help.
So what it's looking like so far is we're going to have to take off the like the supercharger coupler, which is this, because the angle of it is just too, see the angle of it going straight down the car, it's making it too difficult to put a coupler on, because we can't go too far down with the intercooler because this bar is here and we don't want to cut through that. So as you can see, it's a little bit difficult because we can't go straight down and do an elbow up to this because this bar's in the way. And we can't come straight out because this goes too far down. So the only way it's looking like so far is we're going to have to cut this and weld something straight on to it. Now luckily these guys have got alley welders and they're good at welding alley, because I would never be able to do this. So I think first of all we're going to have to we're going to take this off.
It's literally just 4 13mm bolts, well another 10mm at the side, but don't worry about that, just to remove the top of the supercharger.
So we're going to flip it up, and then that takes it away from the coolant pipe.
Yeah,
and it allows us to go to the top of the...
It should mean it's a lot easier to rework the pipe work for the intercooler, yeah.
Right.
Hopefully.
So the initial plan is to actually cut this and flip it around the other way. So instead of going down where we have limited access, we're going to be coming up.
That actually looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll linish that up, clean it up a little bit, and get it welded.
We almost forgot we was working on some Jap shit. German engineering, bonnet all the way up. Anyway, let's carry on.
So I think, yeah, it's miles away from the fan, which is what we wanted, isn't it?
Yeah.
We know the thing,
So is that still a bit long? Do you think we might have to cut that a bit shorter, or do you think that...
At the moment, yeah, the pipe's going to come out here. It's going to be a bit too tight. Yeah, I'll probably end up cutting that off about there. Stick a 30mm joiner on it and then good to go.
So now they have an idea on how to run from the supercharger, they actually start making up my intercooler. So they get a core and they start welding up the end plates to fit in the gap that I need them. So once the intercooler is made, they actually start bolting it and making up some brackets to fit it to the car. And you can actually see the 70mm takeoff there, which they put on and welded onto the intercooler to actually make it a pipe later on, which goes to my mass sensor, as you can see there. Now after the intercooler was actually bolted up, they decided to change the initial idea that we had.
So all we've got to do is shape the inside to make it sit a bit nicer, so it doesn't restrict the flow.
So initially we actually wanted the supercharger coupling to come up instead of down, but they realised that it would have been too tight to get a silicone hose on there. So they decided to make it come straight instead of going up or down. And this is the idea that they wanted, so we can bring the supercharger straight out and we can have a smaller silicone hose to connect the two together. Now this is the takeoff they made for the cold side of the intercooler, and this is their idea on how to connect them. So while I'm waiting for Chad to actually weld up that intercooler, I'm actually going to take a look at the keys. Now, I actually need this blade on this key. Now, considering we've got some very experienced welders around, I'm probably going to take advantage of that. But the first thing I'm going to do to make it easy for them is I'm actually going to take out the key blade.
So Clive has just welded the two pieces of the keys together. So we now have the key, the 190N key on the actual SLK key. Annoyingly, this end bit here is some kind of plastic, so it's kind of goes metal into plastic, and it's kind of just warped the hole a little bit. So I might just throw a drill through there and just try to open it up so we can actually get it into the flip key so it fully works. But
okay, it wasn't plastic, but it was some kind of weak, cheap metal which got hot and warped.
So all that's left to do is to get this hose to fit on here nicely tomorrow morning. Just cut that, change the angle of that.
so have you cut that in the intercooler?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
It's all done, it's all on, it's all good to go. But that, just got to cut that, put a bit of about a 10-degree angle on there, make that hose sit nicely, and that'll be done. And this one, so get a 45, and then just make a hard pipe to suit. And then we're going to straighten out your original mounting brackets, and then put some tabs on behind with a riv nut, bolt straight through there. Then job's a good one, unless you want it powder coated, in which case
It's coming off.
it's coming off again. You can still route your water hose underneath that pipe quite nicely without causing any issues. Not sure. Did you have another fitting that went on here?
No, it did just stretch on there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I could probably make you a little adapter to be fair, that'll go on there, make it fit a bit nicer.
But it'd be nice to have it running like that, and then...
Yeah, it'd be nice to have it sitting there, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And then you've got a little joiner on it. Yeah, we'll have a look at that tomorrow. Then you can drive her away.
Well,
Onto the trailer. Onto a trailer.
onto the trailer.
So since the actual core of the intercooler is now all done, they actually started to make up some brackets to mount it properly, and then obviously they pressure tested it.
So yeah, just put some air into here to about 30 psi, which is more than the car should ever run. We'll put it under the water and have a little look, see if there's any bubbles, and if there are, fix them. If there's not, no leaks. Where I'll drill through here, it's just got a little air hole, so all that'll do is the air will creep out. It'll look like bubbles for a little while, just while you leave it a bit longer where you've done some work, just to make sure.
All good?
All good. I'm happy we can get it dried, get it painted, put it on the car.
So after it dried, I actually went through for painting. Airtec actually offered me to powder coat it black, but I really like the silver normal kind of look. So I actually opted to get it spray painted silver rather than get it powder coated black. And while I was waiting to dry for paint, Chad actually made the final changes to the supercharger just to add that little degree bend so the pipe would go on a lot nicer. And after one final test fit, it's time to get it welded up.
We've already got the blue and the black, that's all we've got laying around. So when you do get a chance, just order in a 70-45.
Is that what that is, a 70-45?
70-45, yep.
Is that the angle of it, or is that the...
Yeah, 45-degree angle, 70mm diameter on the inside. And then,
so it's a 45-degree angle, 70mm diameter. Okay,
yes, that's the one. And then all we're going to do is make a little alley joiner to go between the two at about 30-degree angle, something like that. And then get her running. Hear the supercharger whistle a bit nicely.
Yeah, because obviously I know the charger is working because it's something that I actually had to fix on the original engine when I actually bought the SLK, because the actual supercharger wasn't working. So I know the charger's working out. What was happening was when we started the car, we revved it for a split second, we heard the charger, and then when the car realizes that there's no boost pressure, it puts it into limp mode. So you can only hear the charger for a tiny split second. So one thing I'm really excited for is to finalize this boost pipe, and then we can start it and we can actually hear the supercharger whining. And this is going to be a really big moment, because the whole reason I went with this engine in this car was because it was supercharged. And you see people doing these engine swaps in the 190s, but everyone always turbocharges them because they all say it's a pain to get the supercharger to work with a stock ECU. And thank you to William Pittner, I think we're literally one of the only ones in the UK now that has an M111 supercharger on a stock ECU. Literally thanks to William. Every single one I know has done this engine swap. They've not found a way to have it run on a stock ECU. So yeah, it's actually quite a bit. I hate people that go, oh, it's the only one in England. I hate people that do that. Like, who cares? But it is actually pretty cool, because we're gonna have something that not many people have been managed to accomplish, and that's having a 190E still on the supercharger, which is awesome. So I'm very excited to hear it running and actually hear that supercharger, because again, not many people have managed to do this, but huge thank you to William Pittner. He's made this possible. He flew in from Croatia to wire the 190 and we're in this situation now where we're going to be hearing it running with a supercharger, which is unbelievable.
So all that's left to do before we can actually start the 190e is that Chad needs to make the final hard pipe to connect the intercooler to the blast bit of the intake to the MAF sensor, and then we can finally give it a start.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very big day. Well, there's a very big day. Two things. We're going to see if the key works. So, first of all, let's see if our makeshift key works. Will it fire? Yeah, okay, that works. Will we hear some supercharger noises? Please. Oh wait, it's not plugged in. Right, supercharger noises. The car's a bit loud. It's got no exhaust on, but there is a supercharger. That is a supercharger noise. I promise you, it's a supercharger noise. So after a few more bits of tidying up, it is on, it is done, it is working. Oh my God, I'm absolutely buzzing. So the next thing is I'm gonna take this home and get it off the trailer, and then I'm gonna continue on the other jobs which I need to do, which is put the power steering lines back on, put the exhaust back on, find some way to mount this and make a throttle cable for this. And a little bit more wiring. We've got an oil level sensor and an oil pressure sensor, which I need to splice into something, but I can't remember what I have to do because it's been so long, so I'm gonna have to message William. But we're gonna get it home, we're gonna get it in the unit, and then get it up on the ramp, and we're gonna be getting ready to finish this off and hopefully have it done all in one day, and then we can go for that first drive. We've just put the lights in, and all the lights work, which is great. Really good, so done a lot today. Thank you so much, mate.
You are more than welcome.
He has been done way more than I wanted and expected and everything, so really happy. I just thought I'd get the the cooler done, and then I'd have to do all the pipe work, but they've helped do all the pipe work and even my water pipe work, which they definitely didn't have to do in any way, shape or form. So I'm really grateful because it's technically running now. Like, I can actually take this for a drive if I wanted to do it with my throttle cable with my hand, but as soon as the throttle cable's on, like, the only reason that I need to do the oil temperature and the oil sensor is just so that the lights don't come on the dash, because right now it's telling me that my oil level's low. But it will literally drive. It will literally drive as soon as I put them power steering lines. Well, it will drive now without the power steering because we have to drive it on the bloody trailer. So yeah, we're going to get it home and we're going to get this done pretty quick because I want to drive this before summer ends and I want to get some cars and coffees on the weekend. So thanks for watching. Thank you so much for Airtec for helping me out so much with this. This was like one of the biggest things I was really worried about doing, because you can't just, well, I've not got the welding skills or the things lying around or the knowledge to do all this to make it up myself. And then yeah, I would have wasted so much money buying different intercoolers and stuff, and just having it perfectly fit, perfectly running, and oh, I'm so happy. So we'll love you all, and we'll see you in the next video.